Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All the momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? So there's Monday, November 24th, 2025, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. The federal cases against James Comey and Letitia James have been thrown out, not due to lack of evidence, but because the prosecutor who charged them was not legally in position to do so. Another stupid move by Donald Trump. Speaking of that idiot Trump, they are saying nursing is no longer considered a professional degree. That's going to impact loans. Y'all do know there's a nursing shortage in America? I'll talk to the executive director of the National Black Nurses Association about this. A nationwide mass blackout targeting Target as well. All these things are happening, folks. We're going to be talking about those two things. Also, we remember Mother Viola Fletcher, one of two surviving members of the Tulsa Race Massacre in 1921. She passed away today at the age of 111. Lots to break down, folks. It's time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered. On the Black Star Network, let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
A federal judge has dismissed the criminal indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James, determining that the federal prosecutor who Donald Trump put in place, who brought the cases, guess what? Wasn't lawfully appointed. U.S. District Judge Cameron Curry stated in her ruling, I agree with Mr. Comey that the Attorney General's attempt to install Ms. Halligan as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was invalid. Since Ms. Halligan had no lawful authority to present the indictment, I will grant Mr. Comey's motion and dismiss the indictment. Now, Judge Curry found that Halligan, who had been appointed as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia at the direction of Donald Trump, was the only prosecutor to present the case and sign the indictments. Therefore, the judge determined that the indictments should be voided. The ruling could have significant implications for other prosecutions brought by Halligan's office during her short tenure. A similar ruling disqualifying Lena Haba as the U.S. Attorney in New Jersey has left several criminal cases initiated under her leadership in legal limbo while she appeals the decision. Now, here's the key. The judge ruled that, though, that they still could come back and present the cases. They can go back to another grand jury to actually get indictments against them. So she dismissed the case without prejudice. If she had dismissed it with prejudice, they could not bring the indictment. Goes to show you how nutcase Trump and his folks are. Congo, being a senior professor of lecture, School of International Service, American University, author of Lies About Black People, How to Combat Racism, joins me from D.C. Also, Mateo, the Justice Guy, legal and political analyst, also joins me. Mateo, I'll start with you. I mean, listen, Donald Trump is using the Department of Justice as his own personal retribution law firm. He's attacking his enemies. He fired the previous attorney general, the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, because the guy wouldn't pursue this. They fired numerous other prosecutors in that office because they wouldn't take it forward. She had no choice to do it herself because other prosecutors said, ain't no case here. And now this idiot is sitting here looking like a complete fool because not only has she screwed up the indictment with what they filed, now she wasn't even lawfully in the job.
So, yeah, I'll start by saying that, yes, for sure, Donald Trump is using the Department of Justice as his personal retribution machine. But I'll add at this point that he's not doing it well either. This has been a disaster in the making for a while, and I think it's really the poster child, more so than Haba or the Asaili decision. It's the poster child for White House incompetence.
Looks like, Mateo, we're losing your signal. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, now you go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we got you.
Perfect. So I've known that this was going to happen for a few weeks. I wrote a blistering piece on the Comey indictment on my Substack, but we knew that it was going to happen. The courts in New Jersey, courts in California, courts in Nevada, I believe, had already ruled the incompetence of the White House, had already ruled on the several U.S. attorneys that had been unlawfully appointed. But in all those cases, as you said, they were disqualified because at least in those cases, there were other people, other U.S. attorneys that had co-signed. In this case, that didn't happen. So the key thing at this point is for James Comey, the indictment came at the 11th and a half hour. So statute of limitation has run out. And at this point, I think that refiling would not work. There's a thing called tolling in statute of limitations that basically says the clock continues to run unless certain things happen that didn't happen in this case. So if I were the Department of Justice at this point, I wouldn't refile because it would be probably more than likely be rejected. I think what's going to happen with Comey is they're going to file an appeal. And with Letitia James, the indictment suffered from the same consequences. But in the case of Attorney General Letitia James, I think they're going to refile and try to get an indictment. But I'll say one more thing and then I'll shut up. The issue of the misappointment, I'll call it, of Lindsey Halligan is the least of the problem of the DOJ. That indictment is rife with mistakes, with errors. I'll just say one thing. The grand jury was held after they returned a no true bill, which means now we don't think that the person should be indicted. They were held by Lindsey Halligan beyond the 5 o'clock deadline, saying, okay, I'm going to give you 2 instead of 3, and basically implying you're not going anywhere as a grand jury. You're going to be sequestered until you give me an indictment back. And that's exactly what they did. And I think that that's going to be the nail in the coffin if this eventually goes to trial, and it might not. But I think that we're going to see all of the hideous things that this DOJ is doing to hurry these. They're not prosecutions, they're personal retributions.
Well, it just goes to show you just how clueless these folks are, Congo. And Donald Trump forced this to happen. And listen, he chose a lightweight. She's never tried a federal case. She has no business being a U.S. attorney. Listen, this is why Donald Trump, go to my iPad. This is why Trump chose her. Because of her looks. That's it. Yep. For the people who claim about DEI being bad, oh my God, they are picking grossly incompetent individuals in these jobs. She has no business being in that job. Alina Habba has no business being in this job. And so I don't want to hear crap from these people about didn't earn it, because these idiots didn't earn it.
Yeah, what do they use now? MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence, or something like that. And the people that they recruit have none of those characteristics. And for people like Halligan, one name comes to mind, Giuliani. These guys need to really be careful because Trump's not going to experience any consequences, but these guys can face other types of penalties. They can be disbarred, maybe deal with some other issues. They're going around like this. And the fact of the matter is, with Trump, I don't even know if he'll bring another case as it relates to Comey, because I feel like part of his psyche is the indictment was the point. He got indicted, so he wants Comey.
No. I'm in Congo. No. Trust me, he is going. Dude, I'm telling you, this man is an idiot. He is about evil. He is about retribution. He's about pain. He is going to order Pam Bondi to indict him. He's going to order somebody else to do it. I'm telling you. So, listen, hang it up. He's going to do it. He doesn't care about the rule of law.
Well, and he could absolutely be right. And I couldn't argue against that. The fact of the matter is, if he's going to do that, I think the people who are watching him, who are working under him and working under Bondi, they need to start thinking about sending their resumes elsewhere, because they're not going to get away with this. Trump could try to do this to the ends of the earth, but they are so incompetent. That's why none of these cases are ever going to yield anything, because of his rush decisions, because of Bondi's inability to challenge him in any way, shape, or form. She's fine with all of this. So they're going to keep being embarrassed. Unfortunately, it's going to keep costing people like Comey, like James, like John Bolton, and like people who don't have the types of resources that they do. It's going to cost them a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of other things that some people don't want to, their companies don't want to mess with them while they're under these types of investigations. And so I'm really concerned about those things. But if Trump does keep bringing this forward, as you completely argue could actually be the case, they're going to keep failing. And watching them continually be embarrassed for their incompetence is great to see.
Mateo, real simple. Donald Trump, he wants people to bow down. And if you want a job in his administration, you're going to have to bow down. He is going to make somebody do it. He's going to appoint somebody else instead of Halligan. It's going to happen. This guy he's not going to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to just go ahead. No, he wants to destroy James Comey. He wants to destroy Letitia James because he believes both went after him.
I agree that I think America knows that he is driven by the desire for vengeance and certainly not to seek justice. I also think that eventually it might be his demise, but I think that it's going to be a while because there's 300 and some odd million people in the United States. He's going to find a prosecutor. But in fact, he doesn't even have to find a prosecutor. He just has to find a lawyer. Lindsay Halligan proved it. He just has to find a lawyer. Who cares that they have prosecutorial experience or not? That will do what he wants. He likes to surround himself with yes men.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, listen, he wants folk to just listen. It's a bow down administration. He wants yes men, yes women. And listen, he's got folks who they know it's wrong. They know it's just out of bounds. But if they want a job, Congo, they're going to do it.
Oh, yeah, period, bottom line. I mean, they got to kiss the ring. And what's really sad about it is when you look at the way that these people, not sad, let me see. What's unfortunate about it is the amount of time and the amount of resources that are being wasted as it relates to our taxpayers' dollars to pursue these types of cases. And when you look at the situation with Venezuela, why did that head of that division over there quit? Because he was saying that these strikes are unlawful. Pam Bondi said, do it anyway. So he's like, I'm not going to kiss the ring. And so you got the courts that are turning against him. He's going to be trying to go harder as it relates to the military right now, and they're standing up to him in various ways. You see what he's doing against the 6 representatives from the House and Senate, Mark Kelly and them who made the ad about illegal orders. He's going to keep going. He is not going to stop, and we are the ones who are suffering from it. But at the one point, when you look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, leaving the House, and one of these other Republicans are going to start speaking up, going to start standing up. We know it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But in the meantime, we have to continue to support the people who don't have the resources like James Comey does, because really at the end of the day, Trump will take everybody down with him in every way, shape, and form possible. And I think finally Americans are starting to see that this is what he was about all along. We knew it here at the Black Star Network, but other people are like, oh, it's just Trump being Trump. He is evil, vindictive, and won't stop until everything is burned to the ground.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's exactly who he is. And folks just need to understand that Donald Trump this is how he is going to operate. I saw this item right here. This is Paul Sperry, senior reporter, Real Clear Investigations. This is what he posted. Senior White House aides and the cabinet heads are bracing for major personnel shakeup as insiders tell me POTUS is growing increasingly unhappy with economic messaging. Among other things, shakeup could include chief of staff in new year developing. Now, Mateo, also, what has been happening here, a Jake Sherman reported a senior Republican said that you could have some mid-year resignations among Republicans, saying they could very well retire. This is what he posted. He said, let's see here. He said a few other GOP members messaged us over the weekend saying that they too are considering retiring in the middle of the term. Here's one particular exercise. Senior House Republican. This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage. All. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who have run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies, not even the high-profile, the regular rank-and-file random members are more upset than ever. Members know they're going into the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel, and they will lose the majority before this term is out. He also said, since this ran this morning 4 hours ago, I've gotten countless text messages from House Republicans agreeing with this sentiment and saying, why the hell should we stay in Congress if all we're going to do is vote on censures and be a potted plant? Well, guess what, Mateo? I don't want to hear any of this whining and crying from any of these damn Republicans. They could stand up to Donald Trump. They only have a once Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns in January, they're not going to have a 2-seat majority in the House, okay? They could easily tell Donald Trump to go kick rocks, but they're afraid of him. They're scared of him. They are weak and they're impotent and they're unwilling to challenge him. And so even Marjorie Taylor Greene, she didn't want to run for re-election because Trump endorsed her opponent. And I'm like, you know what? You suck. You're weak. It reminds me of that punk-ass Jeff Flake in Arizona who kept giving these speeches on the Senate floor, but he was afraid to run for re-election. Bob Corker, senator from Tennessee, same thing. They were so afraid of Donald Trump because they didn't want to lose. Here's my whole deal. If you got any guts, if you have any principles, morals, values, ethics, and integrity, you would run for re-election, you would challenge Donald Trump, and you would say, yeah, y'all vote me out. And guess what? I think Thomas Massey of Kentucky is an absolute nutcase, but what he's doing is saying, Donald Trump, my voters know me better than they know you. And so I dare you and your money men to sit here and take me out, and he's not backing down. All of these Republicans who are now whining, privately and anonymously, they are weak, they're impotent, they're sorry, they're pathetic because they don't have the courage to tell Donald Trump to kiss their ass.
I see two things that are happening here. I see the Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world, the people that are, generally speaking, are retiring. Those are the weak people. It was okay for all of these Congress people to allow Donald Trump to abuse, manhandle, harass. But when they are at the receiving end of this harassment, then all of a sudden they start to whimper and they walk away and they throw their toys down and say, I'm not going to play anymore. Those are weak. But we know this is the GOP of 2024 and 25 is that it's weak people that say yes to the president. That's one silo. On the other silo, I started to see, we talked about a few weeks ago, we talked about the cracks that I'm seeing in the GOP. And we need to remember that every one of these lawmakers still represents their constituents. They're answering to their constituents more so than they're answering to Donald Trump. The only reason they are following Donald Trump is because they're convinced that their constituents are following Donald Trump. So they're doing what they think their constituents. The moment that stops, and it's starting to stop, because we see the economy is biting back. We see that prices and the tariffs, all of that stuff is starting to bite back. And even the hardcore Trump followers are starting to say, is this for real or did we get conned? We found out that they were going to get conned back in 2015. It took them 10 years, but they're starting to catch on. And the more that happens, the more these lawmakers are going to say, you know what, I don't need to listen to you, Donald. Go to your corner, do your thing. I hope that starts happening more and more often. Unfortunately, it's happening at the cost of the economy, killing DEI programs, all of that's happening to America. It'll take us a while to dig ourselves out, but people will wake up at some point and say, I don't really need to follow the president.
Well, Omekongo, we see exactly what's going on here. These Republicans, all of a sudden, let's just be clear, and this always happens. Folks love power, and these Republicans know they're going to get their asses handed to them in the midterm elections next year. So they would rather cut and run, and guess what? Do like Christian Cinema did, pocket that campaign money and then do whatever you want with it and leave. That's all we're seeing right here. And so they're scared. They're scared of actually, oh, my God, we're going to be in the minority. That's all this is. And so all this whining, whatever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's leaving right around the time that, her pension's going to be kicking in. So she's going to be getting that congressional pension. She's made millions off of insider trading, from this office as well. So if they really wanted to do something and care about the people, this is Congress. At any time, they can reassert the control that they've given to Trump at any moment, launch investigations, bring people in, find out what Tom Homan did with that Kava money. Like, they can do that if they wanted to. But like you said, wow, it's ridiculous when all of these guys are talking about, yeah, we're going to resign or retire early. It's like they just realized what Marjorie Taylor Greene's realizing. They can cash in and get out scot-free, because if they were really about the business, if they really cared about the constituents and everything that they've been losing, Trump's making people reapply for SNAP benefits, for goodness sake. Say they could easily start partnering with the Democrats. There's more than enough votes to start launching investigations and doing the real work. And many of the people in their communities would support them. Donald Trump is underwater on everything, including immigration. So if you want to talk about, striking while the iron's hot, this would be the perfect time for them, especially coming off the Epstein vote. This would be the perfect time for them to say, yeah, now we're going to take our purse strings back. Now we're going to stand up. But you're right. They have an exit strategy, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to be leading all of that. And so, hey, if it's Leader Jeffries, majority leader coming soon, I'm here for it. We got that election in December in Tennessee. If that candidate wins, that's another Democrat seat as well. So I'm here for it. We got to keep fighting, and let's keep doing the work to push them out, because if they don't want to be there, let them go so we can get to work and do what we need to get done.
Absolutely. All right. Got to go to a break. We come back. We're going to talk about how these idiots in the Trump administration now are saying nurses are not professionals. It's going to impact their ability to get loans to go to school while there's a nursing crisis in America. Yep. They're idiots. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Our legal roundtable is back in session as we look at yet another potential landmark case being considered by the United States Supreme Court. This one is called 303 Creative versus Elenis, and may be the most important and far-reaching First Amendment, that is freedom of speech, case of our time. It could, depending on how the court rules, open the door for a return of Jim Crow segregation laws. It's true.
If you say we can discriminate against one, you're saying we can discriminate against all.
That's on the next Black Table. Don't miss it. Right here on the Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion in higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
I'm Russell L. Honoré, Lieutenant General, United States Army retired, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
So we got a nursing shortage in America. So what do these idiots in Trump's Department of Education say? Well, let's just create some new rules that overhauls federal student loans. That took place in the big ugly bill, where they no longer classify nurses as a professional degree. Yep, fields such as medicine, dentistry, and law still qualify as professional. But nursing, nurse practitioner programs, physician assistant programs, physical therapy, and civil disciplines have been excluded from this classification. The change is essential because professional programs are eligible for higher federal borrowing limits and access to Grad Plus loans, which help cover graduate school costs. Of the support, future nursing students may have to rely more on private loans or might not be able to afford graduate training at all. Tanya Jackson, Executive Director of the National Black Nurses Association, joins us right now. Tanya, how idiotic is this?
This is the craziest thing that I have ever heard of. We already have a healthcare shortage. We already have people that are in need and need care that they do not have people to take care of them. And now we're going to change the profession. Craziest thing I ever heard of.
So when we talk about the impact, when we talk about private loans, that means higher interest rates, not protected by the federal government. And again, for the people who don't get it, we've had a nursing crisis in America for at least the last 15 years.
Yeah. Think about COVID. Think about everything that happened during the pandemic. Who was on the forefront? Nurses. And then we didn't have enough nurses. And so we have been doing everything possible to get people to go into nursing. And now we're saying, hey, guess what? You're no longer a professional. And so what that means is that we can't borrow. It's going to be a cap. They're going to put us into like human service category. And so we're not going to be able to borrow like other people such as doctors, dentists. We're not going to be able to do that because, again, they're not grouping us our graduate degree as a professional. And you know why? It does not make any sense why. they're saying because when we go in as a bachelor level, on a baccalaureate level, we go in as a registered nurse, okay, or we go in as an ADN or a BSN. But when you go into medicine, you go in science or you go in something else. But then when you get that credential, you become an MD. But when we get the master's or when we get the doctor, we're still like a nurse practitioner or a DNP. So the Department of Education, they're really just going in on that little language, and they're saying that we can't be classified as such. But we go in as a baccalaureate level. We are credentialed. We have a license. So we meet all the criteria. And so to group us, our graduate degree, into a category that does not have a degree, it's really going to do a lot for nursing. It's going to stop people from going in. It's really going to affect people of color. It's going, because, you know, that's where a lot of the HBCUs, they have their programs centered around the nursing program. And so this is going to have a huge impact on the entire United States and not just loans. I mean, it's just crazy. I can't even think of anything else.
Folks, here's a fact sheet from the American Association of College of Nursing. They lay out the nursing shortage. This is what they say, folks, right here. So check this out. They talk about, they said the RN workforce is anticipated to grow from 3.1 million in 2022 to 3.3 million in 2032, an increase of 177,000 nurses. The Bureau also projects 193,100 openings for RNs each year through 2032, when nurse retirements and workforce exits are factored in. Okay, y'all, that's called shortage. Then it says the advanced practice registered nurse workforce, including nurse practitioners, nurse anesthesiologists, and nurse midwives, is expected to grow much faster than average for all occupations. Okay, let's keep going. According to a health workforce analysis published by the Health Resources and Services Administration in November 2022, federal authorities project a shortage of 78,610 full-time RNs in 2025 and a shortage of 63,720 full-time RNs by 2030. The 10 states with the largest projected nursing shortage in 2035 are Washington State, blue; Georgia, red; California, the most populous state, red; Oregon, blue; Michigan, red; Idaho, red; Louisiana, red; North Carolina, red; New Jersey, blue; and South Carolina, red. I mean, so Tanya, you look at this and you're talking about, again, the problem that we have. So these yahoos in D.C., all right, who are not health experts, I mean, it's just dumb. And here's the other deal. Ain't like RNs are getting paid $150,000, $200,000. So if you now force somebody to be a registered nurse to have to get a private loan, that means their loan costs are going to increase even more.
Yeah. And do you think people are going to go into that degree? People are not going.
Tanya froze on us. Let's get her signal straight. See, Tanya, you're still there? All right, so let me know when we have Tanya back. Folks, look at this here. Congo, March 2023, the International Council of Nurses released a report calling for the worldwide shortage of nurses to be treated as a global health emergency. Hello?
Man, I mean, this is scary. I mean, this is not only problematic on so many levels, but I'm just wondering, like, what are hospitals going to do? Like, and how are we, the average person, how are we supposed to trust the nursing assistants that we're going to be seeing in the future? Because I'm thinking about it like, you know, what they're doing with like ICE and Border Patrol, how they're just bringing in everybody, not doing real background checks. And is that what's going to start happening? You know, are we going to start really wondering about the qualifications of the people who are taking care of us? I mean, this is really dire. And we already know that many of the people who are coming here from overseas to pursue nursing careers are also not coming here anymore. Trump's policies. And again, this goes back to what we were talking about in the last segment. This is something that members of the House could speak up on. People in the Senate could speak up on if they really gave a damn. But when you see what's happening with this, when you see what's happening with SNAP benefits, when you see what's happening, we talk about so much on this show about Trump's plan to bankrupt Black America. But we always remember that whatever they do to us, the rest of the country is going to suffer as well. So it's like it's just bankrupting the country morally, health-wise, spiritually. It's disgusting, but this is actually deadly, Roland. This is actually deadly. And where the people are going to stand up? This sounds like something that so many of these guys in these red Republican House members, it seems like something their constituents can get behind, because last time I checked, they need nurses too in rural America and in these red states. Where are they? Speaking up, not happening.
Mateo, look at this here. According to the Academy of Nurses report, U.S. nursing schools turned away 65,766 qualified applications for baccalaureate and graduate nursing programs in 2023. Due to insufficient number of faculty, clinical sites, classroom space, and clinical preceptors, as well as budget constraints. So we turn away faculty, we turn away students. Now it's going to exacerbate the problem. And so, and guess what? As the baby boomers, as they get older, who the hell is going to care for them? You take Gen X, all right? Gen X is now, look, so I'm born, so I just turned 57. Gen X is 3 years away from 60. So you're going to have baby boomers who are going to be in their 80s, Gen Xers in their 60s. National emergency.
So, I'll start by saying your guest earlier was wondering why this is happening. I think I know why this is happening. It's happening because the government is trying to cut as much funding as they can, wherever they can, and they chose the group without a strong lobbying backing, which is nurses, made primarily of women. So they're going after the weakest possible prey to cut through programs. But I think that there's an additional element that nobody's talking about. Omekongo touched on it, and I appreciated that. I think that we're all looking at what does that do to nurses and nursing students. Nobody's looking at what that does to the traditionally underserved communities, because those are the communities that are going to be feeling it the most. Those are the communities that nurses usually prefer not going to, and those are going to be the pools that are going to be drying up earlier than others, and that creates a bigger problem. Obviously, I always look at things from a legal perspective, but this reduction in available professional pool in those communities could become a Title IV disparate impact issue, which is basically what the federal law says, that you cannot make decisions that impact certain communities, especially if they're a protected class community, disparately than the average. And the Supreme Court, time and time again, has said that these disparate impact issues are not looked only if there's an intent to hurt these communities, but they're looked at even if they're race neutral on their face, they can still violate civil rights principle if their effect is to disparately impact protected groups. And this is exactly what is going to happen. I guarantee you, write it down, today's date, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're going to see Black communities, Hispanic communities, rural communities, the traditionally underserved communities are going to get sicker faster. And we talked about many times how Black Americans are already disproportionately underserved when it comes to healthcare. We looked at the lady that had to basically give birth in the triage room because she was not listened to. This is going to happen more and more often, with more and more severity. And we need to stop it right now. Congress needs to act.
We got Tanya back. So, Tanya, how are you and others fighting this? What are y'all planning to do?
So we have organized several of the ethnic organizations have came together, and they have written petitions. The Nurse Association, American Nurse Association, they actually just did a call. And so within 48 hours, they had 130 signatures. So we are all signing these just petition. We're advocating. We're calling our Congress people, and we're letting them know that this cannot happen. This is going to have a huge impact on their areas, their districts, on their states. So we're fighting it, but we're standing up. We're standing up together, and we're just really letting everybody know that this is we can't march. This is a time we can't march. We have to show facts. We have to show that we're professionals and that this is something that needs to be done. And we're just fighting it.
Congo?
Once we got over the initial shock. So it was an initial shock at first, given the state of, healthcare.
So, Ms. Jackson, one of the things that I was concerned about is what is the average person? What should we be expecting as it relates to the quality of care going forward? Because I find myself wondering now, as I was mentioning, like how they're hiring like unqualified people to serve as like ICE agents and not doing background checks. Is that going to be the future of hospitals, just kind of bringing in people with semi-standards to fill the need? Is that what we're talking about here, or am I over-exaggerating?
No, you're not over-exaggerating it. It is something that could happen, because if you're going to take away the professionalism behind it, and if you're going to say, okay, we're going to group you into a category that does not require a license, that does not require you to be licensed, you're not going to have people going into that degree. I'm a nurse. I have my master's in nursing. I'm not going to, waste all this money, all this time, and not be considered a professional. So you're not, the pathways that we have where people, are grooming, going into it, people are not going to want to go into nursing. And if you think about it, when you think about someone that takes care of you, if you go to your doctor's office, and I'm not bashing my colleagues, my medical doctors, I'm not. But what I'm saying is you see a lot of nurse practitioners that have assumed that role as your provider because of the shortage. You're not going to have that any longer. You're not going to have that if the student has to bear the cost of the loan. You're not going to have that. They're slicing the loan cap, the lifetime cap, by almost a half. So before we could get almost $200,000 for our terminal degree, we're not going to be able to do that any longer. So you're not going to find people going into nursing, especially people of color.
All right, then. All right, well, we'll keep watching this to see how this all turns out.
Well, thank you.
All right. Thanks a bunch. All right, folks. Lots more to talk about right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. You've got redistricting, Supreme Court case. We'll tell you about what happened with that over the weekend. Also, mass blackout, saying, folks, listen, don't spend anything. Plus, there's going to be a boycott in D.C. at Target on Saturday. We'll talk about that as well. Plus, we lost Mother Fletcher. She, of course, is the one of two survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre. She passed away at the age of 111. Folks, you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Be sure to support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Your dollars allow for us to be able to do the stories and cover the things that matter to our community. If you want to contribute via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here, bottom left-hand corner. That's for also credit cards. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Checks and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037 7-0196. Back in a moment.
Said the quiet part out loud. Black votes are a threat, so they erased them. After the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013, Republican legislatures moved fast. New voter ID laws, polling place shutdowns, purges of black voters from the rolls. Trump's Justice Department didn't stop it, they joined in. In 2018, his DOJ backed Ohio's voter purge system, a scheme that disproportionately erased black voters. Their goal, erase black votes and political power. Yeah, that happened. These are the kinds of stories that we cover every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Subscribe on YouTube and download the Black Star Network app. Support fact-based independent journalism that centers African Americans and the issues that matter to our community.
This week on the other side of change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol,
we're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
Hey, this is Motown recording artist Kim. You are watching.
Do I have the guess? All right, folks, the U.S. Supreme Court temporarily stayed a lower court ruling that Texas's new congressional maps for 2026 likely discriminates against black and Hispanic voters by weakening their voting power. Justice Samuel Alito's order puts everything on hold while the Supreme Court decides whether Texas can move forward with the map. The map, backed by Donald Trump and Texas Republicans, was drawn to give Republicans an advantage in the next midterm elections. They got rid of 2 black districts in Houston and Dallas. A panel of federal judges had already ruled the map was unconstitutional, wasn't unconstitutional racial gerrymandering. The court has blocked similar lower court rulings close to election time before. Most recently, in Alabama and Louisiana, if the map is ultimately allowed, it could give Republicans 5 extra seats in the U.S. House. Now, when this came down on Friday, Mateo, I texted a number of legal scholars, and they said it's not as what people initially thought it was actually going to be about. They said that it gave the court time to act, time to respond, and so folks said, hey, pump your brakes. It's not like they are sitting aside the lower court ruling. How do you read it?
a fairly humdrum decision by the Supreme Court, by one of the justices. It's an emergency injunction. So basically what it's doing is it's saying, is there a chance that the person the party that started the lawsuit could win? The answer is usually yes, unless there's major holes. Would there be some substantial damage if we allow the lower court ruling to move forward? The answer is usually yes. And so we're going to, as you said, pump the brakes. We're going to pause the lower court ruling. It isn't unusual for the Supreme Court to issue a rule like that, especially in these conditions. What they're doing is they're essentially preserving the official maps that exist. They're not good maps. They're not fair maps. They are racist maps, but they're the ones that exist right now. And so the Supreme Court says, all right, we're going to leave them in place because replace them once again would be more difficult than not until the lower court decision plays out. It isn't a decision so-called on the merits. Supreme Court, the justice that ruled on this is not saying, yes, the maps can stay. I think this issue isn't the decision, that emergency injunction, which, as I said, is humdrum. I think that the big issue is the audacity that I'm seeing in the Texas legislature and the governor in changing those boundaries so blatantly and mid-decade. So at a time when usually it's not done. So it seems to me that the most outrageous thing is this sort of frontal assault that's been waged at the behest of Donald Trump against the Voting Rights Act. And to me, it's that overtness that really is worrisome, because it is Project 2025. We all know that. It's in there. But the openness with which they do it is really what concerns me, what makes me pause. And I think that the other thing that makes me uneasy is the constitutional challenge that's happening in Louisiana that's challenging the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which would, if it goes through, would essentially demolish the protection that exists against these maneuvers. So in combination, that audacity that legislatures, not just Texas, but other places, Missouri is one of them, are moving forward with, together with what could happen in Louisiana, that is a cause for concern. That emergency injunction from the Supreme Court, that does not concern me. That is procedural at best.
Congo?
Well, yeah, this is going to be very interesting, because when it finally does get taken up by the Supreme Court, I mean, they are the ones who said, well, you can gerrymander and you can do what you want as long as it's based on politics, but not based on race. Here's something that's clearly based on race. And it's really going to be interesting to see where Justice Roberts goes with this, and obviously the rest of the court. But this is going to be a real monumental test for not monumental test. I mean, if they don't give a damn, they just don't give a damn. But I'm talking about in terms of revealing their real hypocrisy as it relates to giving Donald Trump a blank check to do whatever he wants, and basically carte blanche in terms of political authority to be able to do whatever he wants. This, I'm not a lawyer in any way, shape, or form, but this looks like a clear case of a violation of what the Supreme Court said is not possible. Gerrymandering and painting just over racial lines. And so if they go along with this, they are basically giving Trump the ability to do whatever he wants. I'm appreciative of the people who are continually fighting against this, but we can never let our guards down. When this ruling came out last week, you are one of the people, also Roland Martin, who was out there saying, y'all, we also got to pump the brakes on thinking that this fight is over. Because just like we talked about with Trump in the beginning of the show, it's never over with these guys. And I'm glad we have people like Mark Elias and other lawyers out there who are fighting in court for this every single day, because they're going to keep trying it every single day in every single way in every state possible as well to fight this and make sure that Trump gets the opportunity to be able to have more House seats, because coming back to the House once again, because if he can have that, he can have a clean slate and a blank check to do whatever he wants for the next 3 years. And we can't allow that to happen.
Indeed. All right, folks, we talk about what do we do? How do we use our power? Economic withdrawal is one of those. There's a call for a nationwide mass blackout this week, urging people to stop working and stop shopping. A coalition of grassroots groups is pushing for an economic shutdown during one of the busiest shopping periods of the year. We're asking people across the country to hit pause on spending and even skip work from November 25th through December 2nd. The group behind the efforts, Blackout the System, the People's Sick Day, and the Money Out of Politics movement, want folks to avoid traveling, eating out, and using paid digital services, yes, even streaming. Joining us now to talk about the Blackout, which begins tomorrow, is the founder of Blackout the System, Isaiah Rucker Jr. Isaiah, glad to have you here. So explain this. When you say you don't want people to work, what are they supposed to do? Take vacation time, paid leave time? What are you saying?
Yeah, when we say no work, obviously everybody can't take off work, but we're asking people to join us where they can. We know that everybody's situation and circumstance is different. So objectively, the first thing we would request is that if you could put the PTO in, vacation, sick time, utilize that. We're not trying to take money out of your pocket. In fact, we're trying to make sure that money get back into your pocket by driving a wedge between our resources, these corporations, and this corrupt government. And so if you can take those days off, great. If you can take one day off, let's make it Black Friday, right? The objective is to do everything we can. And it's not about all of us, some of us doing it all. It's about all of us doing some. And that collective power is what really makes the impact.
I am a firm believer in data and tracking. How are you doing that? Are people signing up? If so, where are they signing up?
Yeah, so we got people signing up on blackoutthesystem.com. We have a specific website, the Mass Blackout with the Coalition. There's over 82 organizations, movements, and groups who have come together. This happened all organically, right? And so we're building out systems in place where we'll be able to project some data to the people. We're going to be scraping data today, this evening. We're looking at the market, seeing how things look at and open up tomorrow. And in 2 weeks, we'll see that again because we see a lot of people wanting to push for an extension for the blackout. So we're fighting, we're pushing, we're coming together, but we're doing it in the best way possible. So I myself, I don't know everything, but there's groups, people in the organizations and movements that we're a part of now that's helping us gather that data.
This is the website right here. And so I'm looking at the information on here. I see download media kit. I see subscribe to stay up to date in all of that. And you lay it all out. So how many people have already signed up?
So we haven't collected data as far as the amount of people signed up, but movements, right? And the people that are associated with our movements. So we have our engagement levels have been approximately around 14 million engaged. Our engagement is pretty high over the last 30 days.
No, 1 second. When you say engagement levels, what does that mean? What does the engagement level mean?
So people who have communicated that they're going to be a part of the blackout, you'll see different interactions on social media posts, other people posting their videos, their information, putting it out to their group and communities and things of that magnitude. So we've seen that not only here in the United States, across all 50 states, but also in places like Canada, the UK, Australia, South America. There's a lot of different places that's standing in solidarity with us.
But how do you track it? I mean, and so again, if you're talking about how do you have a measurement, again, when I look at the Target boycott, when I look at how many people signed up for the Target fast, when I look at Nina Turner's group, where they had people who were actually signing up, giving a sense of how many participants are there, they were able to utilize that, and then people begin to build upon that. And so if it's supposed to start, and again, it's supposed to start tomorrow.
Right.
So if it's supposed to start tomorrow, what are you beginning with? 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, again, and are you going to then be tracking that and updating that on a daily basis?
So objectively, if we look across our social media platforms, our following, it exploded, right? And our following is an indication of the many people that will be participating. We got over 500,000 people just following Blackout the System. Now you think about all these other organizations that are part of our movement. And now we have this coalition called the Mass Blackout. And we have over 82 groups, movements, and organizations that's connected with us. You have all those happen, all those people, all those followers connected, but the ideal is not necessarily just trying to count the people, right? The ideal is looking for the results, the action. What does the action yield? We can get a million people to say they're going to do it, but then no execution. The idea is to get the execution, and we only can do that once we start seeing those numbers. We love people saying, "Hey, we're in with you. Hey, we're ready to go." That's great, but we need people not to back out, and so we're looking at the data in the stock market. We're looking at the wedge that we're driving between our human resources and all those different things. And there's a few people in the background that's going to be scraping that data to make sure that we can present that pretty consistently over the next few weeks.
Okay, so are you asking people not to shop at all? Are you asking them to support Black-owned businesses? Because if you say don't shop at all, you got Black Friday, you got others who are saying, hey, listen, I'm sitting here looking at all these products to my left. Every single one of these products is a Black-owned company that are on our shop, blackstarnetwork.com. So what are you actually saying? Don't shop at all, don't spend at all, or spend with Black-owned companies?
So what's unique about this movement is very flexible, right? The objective is to get everybody we can activated and involved. So a lot of people will not spend it all. And that's the indication. To drive a wedge between our money. There's no taxes that we're spending, no transaction fees. All of that is stopped. Great hope. But if people desire to spend, they can spend with the small businesses. They can spend with the Black-owned businesses. They can spend with the mom-and-pop shops, the family-owned restaurants, and things of that magnitude. On Black Friday, we desire that no one spend it all on Black Friday. We want to be able to have that as like a monumental moment where people can really identify the impact. Obviously, Saturday is Small Business Saturday, so we're encouraging people to spend with the small businesses. Redirect that money back into your community, build your community up. We want people, for the people, by the people, in the community. That's where we want our money to go.
Questions from the panel. Ome Congo, you first.
Well, one of the things I was wondering as it relates to this is, are you hearing from any of the companies? I know that we've talked about a blanket, boycott, but are you hearing from any companies in terms of demands? Like, we want to show some type of accountability. We want to see commitments to DEI. Are any challenges being posed to them as it relates to that? And are you hearing back from them in any way, shape, or form regarding that?
So we've noticed that these companies have no care for what the people are doing. And if they do communicate something, they balk on it every single time. And so we're not necessarily looking for an answer. Right now, it's a stance of unity across all races, cultures, and classes, and we're coming together to drive that wedge between our resources and these corporations. And so it's not necessarily asking them to do anything. We're showing them that we have the power. And this is a second wave. We did this before September the 16th through the 20th. We're doing this again, and we're picked up a whole lot more steam. That means that there's a lot of people who are more aware about the situation, and ultimately we're looking for a culture shift where people can really get into the small business space, be intentional with their spending, be more attentive to what they're doing with their money, with those exchanges that they're going to have with the people. In regards to these organizations and whether or not they will make an adjustment, it probably won't matter, because when the people have it in their heart that they're going to take care of their communities and spend with their community, those people won't get our dollars again.
Patel?
So, first of all, fantastic operation. I am a huge believer in this. I have a term that I use. It's called a civic firewall, which is creating a firewall between us and the ability of the government to impose itself on us. As I read about what you're doing, the mind immediately went to the Montgomery bus boycott, which is the greatest example of how people united through defiance, right? Can promote and implement change. That boycott lasted almost 400 days, if I remember correctly. So
382. And in fact, Mateo, glad you brought it up. We're going to actually be in Montgomery next week because they're having festivities all week next week for the 7th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott.
So I think that is fantastic. My question to you is, where is the staying power of this? So I am 100% with you. I'm not going to shop. I'm not going to spend any money. If I spend any money, it'll be Black-owned business. It'll be immigrant-owned business. It'll be small businesses. And then what happens after next week? What are some of the things that you have organized or that you're planning to organize?
Yeah, so that's what we love to do. This is a tactic. This is pushing back against these corporations and pushing back against corrupt government. And we implement this tactic to get people more engaged, giving them something they can do. On our website, The Mass Blackout, there's over 100 things that you can do. You can go to that spin wheel and you can click that spin wheel and it can introduce people into ways to get involved in their communities, really creating a civic force. There's more ways to civic activity than just voting. And so we're getting people involved in their communities in a very large way. So again, this is about a culture shift. We love the Blackout. This is an example of us coming together, showing that we can come together, united fronts across all races, cultures, and classes. But this is a culture shift, meaning that we have to adjust the paradigm, the way we think about our money, how we use our money, and how intentional we are when we spend. And so in December, we're projecting a new rollout. It's called Revolution, and we're going to be talking about divesting. So it's called Divestment December. And we're going to be talking about how people can look at their budgets. The statistics are approximately 85% of the people in the United States don't have a budget. So their money is falling through their pockets. Imagine what happens when they get real intentional with their money and where it's going. And then on top of that, we're going to be hosting different lives all the time. We're building a web. It's called a community web. So we got pillars that's within our organization, and we're going to be creating chapters throughout the whole United States. On our website, Blackout the System, we also have a location. People are funneling information to us where they can see mutual aid, people who can help with food, people who can help food scarcity, people who can help with clothing. All those different things will be centralized on our website. And so as we push back, we're simultaneously building community, because the opposite of greed, right, is community. And that's exactly what we're producing. And so right now on the surface, we're seeing everybody like excited. They're pushing back. They're saying we're going to take our money back. But then we want to reinvest into our community, but we got to know how to do that. So education is key, and we're building community and ways people can get that information.
All right, then. Again, if people want to get more information, what they should do is go to themassblackout.com, pull all the graphics up, pull them all up. This is, of course, the TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and what's that last one? I don't know what the hell that symbol is. What is that?
That's Substack.
Got it. Substack. I don't use it, so I think we got one, but I don't use it. So that's Substack. All right, that's all of them. But the website, y'all, is right here, themassblackout.com, themassblackout.com. All right, Isaiah, I certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Folks, we come back. We're going to chat with Pastor Jamal Bryant about a protest happening at Target this Saturday. The Target blackout also continues. We'll tell you all about that. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. If you want to contribute via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here, bottom left-hand corner. Credit cards as well. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Checks and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Back in a moment.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Our legal roundtable is back in session as we look at yet another potential landmark case being considered by the United States Supreme Court. This one is called 303 Creative versus Alennis, and may be the most important and far-reaching First Amendment, that is freedom of speech, case of our time. It could, depending on how the court rules, open the door for a return of Jim Crow segregation laws. It's true.
If you say we can discriminate against one, you're saying we can discriminate against all.
That's on the next Black Table. Don't miss it. Right here on the Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, in higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
How you doing? My name is Mark Carey, and you're watching Roland Martin, unfiltered, deep into it, like pasteurized milk without the 2%. We getting deep. You want to turn that shit off? We're doing an interview, motherfucker.
Folks, for almost a year, the boycott of Target has been going on all across the country. It has had devastating impacts on Target's stock price as well as its revenue. And, of course, Black Friday takes place where all of these companies are looking to get people, as many people into their stores as possible. And guess what? That Target blackout, that Target strike, that Target fast, it continues. It has never stopped. Joining us right now is the person behind the Target Fast, Pastor Jamal Bryant. Glad to have you here. Pastor Bryant, we've been covering this, and one thing we've talked about is the continued action, to get people to understand that this thing is real. It's happening. And people have been saying, well, what about other companies? And we said, well, hey, first of all, you need to understand what happens with one company. How do you build that? Earlier, we were talking about the Montgomery bus boycott. That was a 382-day boycott. The anniversary, the 7th anniversary, was actually next Friday, December 5th. And this boycott has been working. Target refuses to actually come to the table to talk about how they're going to fix it. And so as a result, we still are staying away.
No, we pressing all gas and no brakes. And so in the fourth quarter of the year is where companies try to turn around. It's called Black Friday because companies are trying to get out of the red. We've got over $2 trillion worth of spending power, but we've not done it in a targeted way, no pun intended. And so this weekend, we're asking people significantly not to go to Home Depot, not to go to Target, not to go to Amazon, but to spend expressly with Black businesses.
And obviously, when we talk about this, there have been efforts to sit down with them. You were part of a meeting with their previous CEO, who's now chairman of the board. And listen, they've made a decision that they're not going to really move forward. Frankly, so many of them are scared to death of Donald Trump and their constant attacks on DEI. And so they've decided that kissing his butt is more important than listening to the Black consumer.
Bloomberg has now listed Target not as a safe stock. When we started the Target fast, Target was at $145 a share. It has now plummeted to $83 a share. The CEO that Roland just referenced is transitioning to be chair of the board. The new CEO starts, if you can believe it, on the first day of Black History Month. They have had market share losses for 3 consecutive quarters, and they've given no acknowledgement to the impact of the movement. But I want to thank all of you who are a part of this community, who have driven the extra mile, have turned a blind eye, and have not supported Target and standing with the movement. I'm grateful.
If I go to, let's see here. Let me blow this up. Give me a second to the point that you just made. And I wanted people to understand. So Target said, hey, we never actually made an announcement. This was a leaked memo. Well, I read that memo, I think, came out on Thursday, January 23rd. Then you had a couple of local groups, Nakima Levy and others in Minneapolis, Nina Turner's group. They called for the boycott. joined by Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, March 5th, if I'm correct. That's when your Target fast began. Henry, go to my iPad. I want y'all to understand the numbers. This is actually, so if I go to Friday, January 24th, this is the day after Target, that memo came out regarding ending their DEI programs. Their stock was $137.89. Today, at the close of business, their stock is $84.54. That is a drop of $52.65. That's a drop of 38.38%. And let's just be clear. Target likely thought, well, this is going to be short term. This is not going to last. A lot of companies thought that. They didn't expect this would be going on headed towards its 11th month. And so I think they now understand what happens when not only we stay out, it impacts other folks stay out. In talking to Nina Turner, they tried to do an end around by going to the Latino community, and they said, no, we standing with the black folk. Then you've had other organizations that have joined on, other labor groups as well. So this has been building and building.
No, it is a movement in every sense of the word. I'm grateful to see how many people have put their hands to the plow. Their foot traffic has dropped by 9.7%. Their online spending or shopping has dropped by 7.8%. And so all different factions are coming in and being a part of it. It is to their own peril that they are not meeting. The reality is there's only so much toilet paper that Donald Trump can buy. You need black people. We are the nation's lead consumer. And this holiday weekend, we're going to show America the power of the black dollar and what it means when we target it in specific locations.
When we talk about, 1 second, I thought this was going to give me something else. So just so folk understand that when we talk about companies, we talk about stock price as well. When you look at market cap also is an issue here. And so, Target's market cap is now $38.94 billion. That's also a dramatic drop. We talk about market capitalization. That's tied to stock price. And so people need to understand that this boycott has been highly effective. It obviously has had an impact on black businesses. How have you and others been working with those black businesses to talk about how, in terms of how they are doing?
Yeah, no, it has had an impact, regrettably, but what we have been promoting is DC, direct to consumer, that we are not boycotting those businesses. We're just asking people not to use the Target platform. We partnered with that Black Chamber of Commerce to try to amplify it. This weekend, Roland, we're doing a bullseye market in Atlanta with 120 Black-owned businesses under one roof. Black Friday, Black Saturday, and Black Sunday. We're converting our Family Life Center and turning it into a Black mall for the weekend. So those of you who are in Metro Atlanta or visiting Atlanta for the holiday, come and support these Black businesses.
And just so people understand what happens when we do shift a strategy, this is a story here with Melissa Butler of the Lip Bar. She talked about their sales being down 30 to 40% at Target, but their sales have surged 40% across the country. This article says here that they project their sales to be up by 40%. The article said, our sales are absolutely down any given week at Target. We're down approximately 30 to 40%, which is very painful for a small business. I think that we will see some businesses suffer fates that we don't want to see from this. but she said that by making other moves, they've seen their sales increase. That shows that there are other ways for us to be able to reach consumers.
And it says that it's a conscientious decision. I'm an 80s baby, Roland, so I grew up when Nancy Reagan was the first lady of the nation, and she had a campaign when I was a kid saying, just say no to drugs. When she did it, drug usage went up by 40%, which shows you can't tell people what not to do without telling them what to do. That's why we're underscoring we ain't buying it. While we're telling people where we're not shopping, we have to tell them where we are shopping. And so just like the Lip Bar has had an amazing and astounding surge, I'm hoping that the same thing happens for Black entrepreneurs. Here's the reality. Over 400,000 Black women have lost their jobs since February, and the nation's fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs are Black women. And so let's support Black women and Black business at large for all that they're doing.
Questions from the panelists. Mateo, you first.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for what you're doing. Almost a year of boycott is very, very long. You know, I'm glad to see what it's doing to the stock price of Target, but I'm saddened to hear that they're not even approaching the negotiating table, let alone sitting down at it. So what is your message to the ones that started maybe and now are becoming discouraged and they're saying, is this worth it? What is your message to them?
Yeah, the message is we have precedent. Next Friday, Roland and I will be in Montgomery for the 70th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott, where they went over a year. We haven't even reached the 1 year mark yet. And so I think that steady wins the race. I think if there be any glimmer of hope, it is that there'll be a new CEO in February. And I think that the shareholders are going to really put his feet to the fire to say that you've got to do it. It's not an ego issue, it's an economic one.
Ome Congo?
Pastor Brian, thank you so much for all of the efforts and work that you've been doing. I remember when this campaign first started and everybody was saying, oh, Black folks are going to do this, not going to support it, so on and so forth. What gave you the confidence to believe that we can believe in Black people to be able to put this together in ways that Target and some of these other companies simply did not and still do not?
Well, I'm a plagiarist, so I stole from history. That the Black church needed to get involved and engage. Some amazing super bad sisters in Minneapolis started the boycott. I started the fast to get the churches back involved and engaged. The secret weapon of the Montgomery bus boycott was the spiritual entity. And I knew if the churches could find some buy-in and some spiritual grounding, that it would catapult us to success. And I'm grateful to see churches re-enter the conversation about social engagement.
This Saturday in D.C., there's going to be a picket line, 3100 14th Street, beginning at 11 a.m. Talk about that.
Yeah, so let me give high commendation to our brothers and sisters in D.C. who have been picketing for 37 weeks. Amazing strength and amazing courage. Transparently, Roland, I was tentative about doing protests at the beginning of it because I figured if you could get a felony for outside of Target.
Actually, hold on. You actually broke up. You said, if you could get a felony, then it cut out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said at the beginning of the movement, I was reticent about doing public demonstrations because they were handing out felonies for people protesting Teslas. So I thought that Black people outside of Target would be a deer in the headlights. But this group in D.C. for the past 37 Saturdays have been outside of Target. So Nina Turner, Tamika Mallory, and myself are coming to stand with them on this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock.
Now, obviously, what people want to know, this is going to be a year come February 1st. That's when the boycott started. The Target Fast began March 5th. Are you and others talking about adding a company or other companies beginning in 2026?
Oh, no, absolutely. We are actually going to be meeting about that as soon as we get through this We Ain't Buying It weekend to really focus in and hone on where it is that we are. But my faith says that by February, Target is not just going to have to come to the table, they're going to have to come with place settings.
All right, then. Pastor Jamal Bryant, we surely appreciate it. Again, folks, if you are in Washington, D.C., you can see it right here. That boycott is going to be at 3100 14th Street Northwest in D.C. beginning at 11 a.m. Are y'all going to be live streaming it?
If you say so.
Well, if y'all going to be live streaming, let us know so we can pick up the feed.
Yes.
I'll be in Texas personally, but
Yes.
certainly let us know so we can put it out there.
Roland, let me say one thing before I go. You were the very first to give the Target boycott a stage and a platform, and I'm grateful. So I want to challenge every church. Roland is raising support $1 million by December 31st. And so on behalf of the churches, I want to lead by example. New Birth is pledging $1,000. I want to challenge every Black church in the country to follow suit and do the exact same.
Well, I appreciate that. And what we announced is, first of all, we're launching a new daily news show. It's going to be a noon show beginning in January. We're setting it up as we speak. We're going to be launching a health show. We also are going to be launching a business show. And so it's a whole lot we're looking to do. We completely retooled. Awesome. We completely retooled BlackStarNetwork.com. So now when people go to the website, that's also a news portal. You're going to see. Go to my iPad, you'll see it. You're going to see different stories there, columns, other things along those lines. So we're working on all those things as we speak because it really is about being able to have news and information. I get a lot of people hitting me. They're like, hey, man, can you do sports entertainment? I tell them, look, I like those things, but the answer is no, because we need to have, I tell them, I said, we have to have a place where we center news and information, and we're not focused on entertainment and who dating who's sleeping with who, all kind of stuff. And that's fine. I tell people, if y'all want that, go somewhere else. But it ain't going to happen here.
Right. No, that's great. Salute to you. Thank you, sir, for holding the torch in the bloodstained banner.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Pastor. Folks, we come back. I saw this video. First of all, I got a couple of things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the loss of course, Mother Fletcher in Tulsa. But we come back. I saw this video, but it really was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. So I literally have got to talk about it. This notion of you don't need to read, but you need math. Let me deal with that when I come back. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
If in this country right now, you have people get up in the morning and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power, that's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
Michael McMillan, President and CEO of the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
You know, it's a lot of... Let me start this way. Somebody posted something that I thought was hilarious. They said, can we please have a $7,000% tariff on podcast microphones? When I saw that, I thought that was pretty funny when I read that. But because everybody and their mama now got a podcast and everybody talking, it does not mean that you should listen to anybody and everybody. And so this has been circulating on social, and this is rapper Jules Santana. I don't know what podcast he was on, but this dumb shit was actually said publicly out of this boy's mouth.
I think that shit gonna take over.
Nah, but seriously though,
his voice
you should though. We gotta start teaching our kids though, just financial wealth and literacy and all that shit early, because by the time they get to 9th grade, they should be just learning how to start businesses
These kids can't read
and how to. But they don't really need to know how to read.
Wait, stop.
I ain't gonna say that. I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a way to be literate, because you're not supposed to be illiterate, but you can.
What's more important, reading or math?
Math.
Told you.
Math. I think you could listen to a book on YouTube. You can still obtain the information.
And
you don't have to know how to read. That's not reading and understanding. I believe common sense is better than everything. I'm a common sense nigga. I'd rather have 0 book smarts and common sense, be able to read the room, be able to read life, be able to read people. I try to understand people, you know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power, not to...
You gotta read your contract, Els.
You don't have to understand. You can listen to that too. They got apps you can put it in and it'll read it to you. Are you crazy?
I know that shit now. It's gonna say this.
AI, bro.
Huh?
It's gonna tell you now, like, yo, this is bad.
It probably will. AI will now. That's what I'm saying. That's how freaky it is.
You don't have to read. Shit can be told to you.
It'll be... So, I'm not saying that in a bad way, like you don't need to know how to read.
At a restaurant.
Floyd Mayweather don't read that shit.
You at a restaurant. Like, it's mad shit you gotta read.
You saying that, you just gotta know what you like.
You know what I want.
You ain't gotta read the restaurant. You can just say, what is this, a steak joint? I want steak, nigga. What y'all steak come with? What y'all got? When the waiter come?
Reading way more important.
When the waiter come, you be like, what come?
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to stand up for this dumb shit. How on earth can your ignorant ass say out of your mouth that we need financial literacy, but we don't need literacy? How? I think by the 8th, 9th grade, our folks should be launching businesses. Okay. How are you going to launch a business if you don't know whether you need an LLC, whether you need an S Corp, whether you're going to be an Inc? How do you even know what type of company you're going to have to launch? Jules, how are you going to know where you should incorporate your business, whether it's in Delaware, in Nevada, in Texas, or some other place? I own this. And so I'll turn the lights up over there. So you can listen to a book. You can listen to a book. Okay, you can listen to a book. Okay, so here's what I need to know, Jules. In order to plug up and turn on and activate this TV from my control room, what should I do? Switch this camera over here. Y'all can't see it. So this TV monitor here, there's a wireless Hollyland device that is connected to this TV that sends the signal from, in fact, put the program in this monitor, Henry. I think we can be able to do that. So Henry is at the switcher. He has to be able to read something to know how to actually do. Let me walk over here. So let's see here. So I'm standing here which camera am I looking at? I'm standing here. So let's see here. This is a Sony robotic camera. Turn the lights up behind me. This is a Sony robotic camera. That's a tripod. Matter of fact, this is a pop-up. This is a pop-up. Henry and I were at the Miami F1 Grand Prix race, and we saw the folk from Sky Sports sit here and do this. Zooming out. We were at the race, and the guy walked over, and he pushed this all the way down, and me and Henry went, oh, shit. We like, hold up, what? We like, wait a minute, how you do that? So we then walked over, and he then told us where they ordered this from. We went to the website. It wasn't in English, so I had to have my assistant hit them up so we can translate how to actually deal with it. So you got monitors down here. You got an electric fireplace over here. This set was actually built. We got LED lights up here. You got, how in the hell can you build this business and you ain't got to read shit? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh, no, y'all, y'all see talking about, Henry, zoom this out. Y'all see this here? This right here, y'all, allows you to gather your cables, so when people are walking, they're not tripping because cables are all over the place. Your ass got to read to know what this is. To know, oh, that's a thick cable versus a thinner cable. How in the hell? Oh, yeah, you just need AI. AI can't read your contract for you. You still got to know what the hell is in your rapping contract. But okay, you a rapper. Let me go back over here, okay? All right, Jules. See, this was I don't understand, which is just dumb to me, okay? Can we go to my iPad? I just saw this. The IRS has released new information on the tax brackets for 2026. Look at this right here. It said the marginal tax rates for various incomes. And so the top tax rate of 37% for individual single taxpayers, it lays it out there, and then it lays out married, 35, 32, and on and on and on. How your ass gonna know what the tax rate is if your ass don't read? Oh, I get it. Jules gonna say, well, you know, I got a CPA. I got a CPA. Their job is to read. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see here. Kareem sues financial advisor. Are y'all aware that one of the greatest basketball players ever actually had an ex-business manager who stole from him, and Kareem filed a $59 million lawsuit against him? So imagine if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the smartest brothers out there, never knew how to read. Never knew how to read. And mind you, Kareem is extremely smart. He is very, very smart. But the article lays out that there was mismanagement by his business partner, Tom Collins. Look at this here. This article was written. Let's see here. August 9th, 2022. It lays out here. They filed a lawsuit to recoup the money. Between 1984 and 1985, Collins arranged several partnerships among all his clients, and it goes on and on and on. Kareem is an extremely smart brother who follows his own money, but he had to sue his guy. So, do you know how many athletes, basketball players, football players, baseball players have gone broke because their accountants and business managers and CPAs and agents stole from them? Do you know? Who was the brother? Terrell, that's your sorry team, the Commanders. Who the dude was the, Clinton Portis. Yeah, let's see, Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis and business manager. Clinton Portis publicly said that he was sitting in a car, boom, right here. See, I told y'all I got a good memory. Ex-running back Clinton Portis was ready to commit murder until a friend talked him out of it. Look at this here. Former Washington Redskins running back Clinton Portis contemplated killing one of his former financial managers after losing millions of dollars in various investments. Yeah, it was a study. Sports Illustrated put it. Portis recounted a night 4 years ago, this is 2017, in which he sat in a car outside a building, holding a gun and awaiting one of the managers he felt had ruined him financially. Ask Terrell Owens what happens when you're not properly following your money. And so when you hear stupidity like that, somebody just mentioned in the chat. I definitely remembered him. Y'all, if you want to, go ahead and Google Tank Black. Tank Black stole from all sorts of folk. In fact, he went to prison. Hell, he went back to prison as a result of what money laundering and fraud. Again, he represented former University of Florida football stars Ike Hilliard, Fred Taylor, Jacquez Green. Look at this here. Black was convicted of charges in a case in which several professional athletes lost a combined $12 million. Y'all, I can go on and on and on. So when somebody says something so stupid and ignorant, like you don't need to read, run. As a matter of fact, how you gonna tell folk don't read when you barely can actually say the word literacy? Play it back.
And I think that shit gonna take over.
No, but seriously though,
Right?
you should though. We gotta start teaching our kids though, just financial wealth and literacy and all that shit early, because by the time they get to 9th grade, they should be just learning how to start businesses. And
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You can't. I really wish folk. What'd you say, Carol? I didn't hear you. I really wish these folk would wake the hell up and stop letting some people talk. Listen to me right now, y'all. Do not listen to Jacquez Santana. If you are a music producer or an artist, a sound engineer, if you got any job in the music business, do not listen to him. If I call Chuck D right now, Chuck D, one of the most, man, Chuck was sending me some stuff this weekend. I mean, Chuck went deep. Chuck will say, how the hell are you going to tell folk don't read? That is just idiotic. You cannot open a business if your ass can't read. Hell, if you want to open a restaurant, your ass got to read the label on the damn food. Ome Congo, so again, I try to ignore most of the dumb shit that I hear on a lot of these shows, but I had to just go ahead and rip this nonsense.
And I'm glad that you did. I mean, it's so disgusting. I mean, I work with so many young people across the country, and just seeing and it's not just young kids, but just across this country, like the anti-intellectual mindset that's just creeping in from the top, starting with Trump all the way down. This idea that so many things can just do things for you. AI can do this. What do you say? Go to a restaurant and say, hey, I like beef. Give me some beef. Like just turning everything over to tech and turning these things over to other people. I can have somebody read it to me. I'm thinking about Sam Cooke, right? When he got sick one weekend, he was at home reading his contracts. And then he realized that Alan Klein had stole all of his stuff. How did he know that? Because he was able to read. And this intellectual decline. If you look at our scores, especially COVID, in terms of our scores in our K-12 schools, it's been going down in terms of math, in terms of reading, in terms of English, in terms of writing, everything's been going down. And damn, Roland, like reading math is reading. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got to be able to read numbers to understand, 900 versus 9,000. Like, that's literacy.
First of all, if you got a math book, you got to go to the back of the book to read what type of math equation you want to go to on page 38. I mean, your ass got to read a math book, Mateo.
First of all, it's very insulting to tell people, hey, you can only learn one thing at a time. You can learn either financial concepts or you can learn how to read. You can't do them at the same time. Second of all, as all of you said, financial literacy requires literacy. You can't open a business without putting together a business plan. How are you going to go to a bank and say, this is my business plan, if you don't know how to read? How are you going to read the contracts, the loan agreements that the bank gives you? How are you going to read the contracts of the people that are supplying you with goods or that you're working with? You need literacy. But beyond that, what I find insulting is the set aside of the power of being able, of the power of literacy, the power of being able, because books are not just about reading things, books are about power. And as we've said countless times on the show, they're trying to make us dumber because a dumb community is easier to control. And to hear somebody tell others, hey, you can be dumber, because by not reading, you become dumber. And it's okay, as long as you can make money and you can be dumb, you can be manipulated by the government. It's not, at that point, it's not just insulting, it's extremely dangerous. And to hear people that are successful say that people look up to, say that, is disconcerting and disheartening to me.
And one of the reasons why so many people in the music business have gone broke is because they didn't read their contracts. And they didn't read. So that's just dumb to me. So y'all, don't listen to nothing he said. Nothing. And matter of fact, when I was sitting there thinking about it, just turn the music up. I remember I had this guy on my radio show on WVON radio, and he was saying how some of these rappers should change some of their songs. Jules, maybe you ought to listen to this song here in your downtime. Turn it up.
Yeah! What's up, y'all? This your boy D Mike. You see, I usually do songs with like hooks and concepts and shit, right? But fuck that, man. I'm trying to go platinum. So I'm about to rock this shit. Check this out, y'all. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. R-E-A-D-A-B-O-O-K. 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 Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book, nigga. A fucking book, nigga. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book, nigga.
Like the N-word, everything else, but since some folk need to guess that's if you need to get your attention, why don't you look that up? So the book is from Bomani Arma. The song is called "Read a Book." Jules Santana, that's for you. When we come back, we'll remember one of the two surviving folks of the Tulsa Race Massacre, 1921. She passed away. Mother Fletcher, 111 years old. We'll talk about her next, right here, Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, and higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
Now that Roland Martin is willing to give me the blueprint, hey, Cyrus, I need to go to Tyler Perry and get another blueprint because I need some green money. The only way I can do what I'm doing, I need to make some money. So you'll see me working with Roland. Matter of fact, it's the Roland Martin and Cheryl Underwood show. Well, should it be the Cheryl Underwood show and the Roland Martin show? Well, whatever show it's going to be good.
Folks, it was tough this afternoon getting a text message from Demario Solomon Simmons that Mother Viola Ford Fletcher, the oldest living survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre, has passed away at the age of 111 years old. She was among the living survivors who pursued a lawsuit against the city of Tulsa, the state of Oklahoma, as well as other related departments, alleging they were complicit in the 1921 massacre in Tulsa that left hundreds of black folks dead, destroyed Black Wall Street, the Greenwood community there. They still are living with the effects of that massacre today. Of course, we were there in Tulsa for the 100th anniversary of that race massacre. And so many people celebrated and honored them. This was one of the, this was the march that took place. We covered that live right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. You see her brother, Uncle Red, right there. As well as the other survivor. And so it was three of them. And so people were celebrated them, feted them, and talked about them. I remember when Mother Fletcher, Demario posted photos and video when she made her first visit to Ghana and how she felt about that. Demario joins us right now. Of course, he's a civil rights attorney, founder of Justice for Greenwood. He has really gotten to know them so well, representing them, traveling with them all across the country and the world, testifying before Congress. Demario, glad you're with us. Unfortunately, this sad story here, and I must say, Mother Fletcher was one strong sister.
Yeah, man, Roland, good to see you. Thank you for having us on. It's been a tough day for sure. And, you know, I've been thinking about, I was talking to some of the team, like, you know, a woman lives to be 111 and a half years old, and you're just so devastated and surprised that she's passed away. But she was so strong. She had so much life. And we, as you know, Roland, we were concerned for many years about, can we get them justice before they pass? But I'll be honest with you. Over the last 18 months or so, I stopped worrying about Mother Fletcher passing away because she was just so vibrant. And at a 110th birthday party that we had for her back in May, this past May, we sang her happy birthday. And at the end, we forgot to say.
Demario broke up there. Hello, Demario. Hello, Demario. Hello, Demario. You broke up there and said, at the end, we forgot.
The county or the
Demario, 1 second. Demario, 1 second. You broke up there. You said, you sang happy birthday. At the end, we forgot.
Oh, at the end, we forgot to say and many more. And she raised her hand and said, and many more. And then she told me directly that she planned to live 5 more years. And I believed her. And so, you know, it's just devastating loss that she's gone because she was such a you know, wonderful and special person. She was just more than a client. She was a friend. She was, you know, extended family. We traveled together. We went all over the country together. We testified at Congress together. We went to many, many court hearings together. And I was with her Friday night at her hospital bed. And she was, my wife and I, Mia and I were there with some other folks, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher. and she was very alert, very engaged. But we knew the end was close, and so today it happened, and we're gonna miss her, but we're gonna continue to fight for her and her legacy, for Mother Randall, our last remaining survivor, and for descendants for reparatory justice that's still owed.
Again, she was right there with you, with her brother, with the other lone survivor, and it was unwilling to back down, testifying before Congress. Listen, a lot of folk at that age, they ain't trying to travel anywhere. She said, "I am not sitting here at the crib. We gonna fight till the end."
Absolutely. I think you mentioned earlier, she flew to Ghana in 2022, I think it was, spent 3 weeks or so over in Ghana. Then we flew back to DC in February of 2023, where she received her Ghanaian citizenship at the embassy. I mean, she was walking until last year. She just stopped walking at 110. And so she was very committed to being out front, very committed to making sure that this story about what happened to her and her family was known to the world, and very committed to human and civil rights. And one of the greatest honors of my life to get to know her, call her client, call her friend, call her family member. And that video you showed, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, who's no longer with us. It showed Uncle Red. These are just people that's over the last 4 or 5 years, man, just spending so much time working with them, trying to get reparatory justice. And we haven't fully got there yet, but I believe we're still on the road, and I think it still will happen.
A lot of people obviously gained, a lot from them. It was Mother Viola Fletcher, Uncle Red Hughes Van Ellis, also Leslie Benningfield Randall, who, those were the three. Those were the three there. And now they're gone.
Yeah, we're down to one. Leslie Benningfield
down to
Randall,
one.
who actually turned.
I'm sorry, down to one, but yeah.
Yeah, we're down to one, and she actually turned 111 back on November 10th. And so we had a birthday party for her. And again, I mean, she was engaged and alert, and she's just keep on trucking. So I just believe very strongly that these people were sent here for a very divine mission. Without these three survivors being alive and alert and coming to Congress and testifying, meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris, meeting with President Joe Biden, fighting for the Department of Justice first time, and doing a review and report on this issue, et cetera. We wouldn't be here today. This movement, not just for Greenwood, but for reparatory justice for Black people throughout this country, would not be where it is today if it wasn't for people like Mother Viola Fletcher, who decided in her very late age that she was going to be a frontline fighter for justice. She's a civil rights icon. She's a legend. And I'm so glad that the world get to know what we know about her and the type of person that she was. I mean, literally Friday night, she was in a lot of pain, but she was very engaged and just having a great conversation with us and being strong. And so we're going to continue that strength. We're going to continue to remember her and continue to fight with her memory.
I'm in Congo.
Yeah, it's really sad. In my book, Lies About Black People, I quote her from her testimony in 2021. And she said, on May 31st, I went to bed in my family's home in Greenwood. The neighborhood I fell asleep in that night was rich, not just in terms of wealth, but in culture and heritage. My family had a beautiful home. We had great neighbors. I had friends to play with. I felt safe. I had everything a child could need. I had a bright future. Within a few hours, it was all gone. And she talked about in that testimony, Roland, how she still, at over 100, was still worried that people were going to come for her like that happened. So, like it was going to happen right now. So to DeMario, to you, to the whole community, everything you all did to continually uplift her, uplift the community, uplift the family, uplift the story to the nation. We're just so appreciative for you because we couldn't be in that space to do that. I'm so glad that her memory is going to live on through all of us. But I just want to also just take this time to personally commend you for all you did to hold up this queen for the world to know and to see.
Well, I really appreciate that, brother. And, you know, we had a great team, my team at Justice for Greenwood, and the many, many lawyers that worked with us at Schulte, Ross, and Zabel, and, you know, all around this country, my good friend, Professor Eric Miller, and Dr. Tiffany Crutcher and the Crutcher Foundation. There's many people that came together to do that work. But I thank you so much. And, of course, what Roland and the Black Star Network and many others have been here supporting us, you know, we couldn't be here without. And here's that testimony you're talking about. And, you know, to sit next to her, yeah. You know, I'll tell you guys, that was the day that changed everything, because up until that point, a lot of people thought that this was just this lawyer that was, you know, just speaking on behalf of these people, and they were just old people. They don't really know what's going on. But on this day, May 19, 2021, when the world saw for themselves and heard for themselves the things that you just quoted, and people realized, wow, this is real. This person is real. This trauma is real. It changed everything for our movement, and that's why we're still here today.
Thank you.
Mateo, go ahead. Mateo? All right, Mateo is frozen. Let's get him back, and we got to fix this, y'all. DeMario, final thoughts. How are your? Have you already? I saw a text. You had memorial information.
Well, it's still being finalized, and I'll certainly get that to you as soon as I possibly can. I guess the final thoughts I would have is, you know, we just want everyone to honor Mother Viola Ford Fletcher. I want you to pray for her family, her children, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, and she has great-great-grandchildren, you know, someone at that advanced age. And just pray for us down here. It's a really tough day. It's a really tough day, real tough loss. We felt like we have lost such a champion. But I just want to tell people in any community that you're in, there is Mother Fletchers in your community. Get to know them. Uplift their stories, record their stories, do their oral history, and make sure those people, those pioneers, individuals who have suffered through, who have pushed through so much in our community, that they be known and be honored. You know, Mother Fletcher was a person that was born in 1914. Is a person that had to run out of her community because of a massacre. She didn't get the education that she deserved because of what happened with the massacre. She had to spend 70 years of her life working as a domestic in the homes of, you know, Caucasians around Oklahoma, and just really trying to just get by. And I'm just real proud that over the last 5 years, we've been able to elevate her to international stature. We've been able to improve her quality of life. We've been able to let people know about her story, and she knew how much people loved her. And so I encourage you to continue to love her, her family, but also, like I said, uplift the Mother Fletchers in your own community.
Mateo is back. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to me, the story of Mother Fletcher is sort of dual meaning. On one side, it's the story of resilience and of courage and you know, of everything that she means to Tulsa, to the Black community, to people that are downtrodden, really. And then on the other side, unfortunately, it's a story of failure. It's a story of government, local and federal government, that has dramatically failed the hundreds of people that died, the thousands of people, and the generations that are still suffering from the scars. So the last piece of this, to me, was the recent dismissal by the court that dismissed the Tulsa suits. I think was for lack of standing and failure to state claim. So my question to you is, you know, when I hear politicians say that we're the best country in the world, it rubs me the wrong way. It really does. What do you say to what do you feel when you know what you know, and you have had contact with people that have been generationally scarred by a government that has, at best, has ignored pain and at worst has caused it? What do you say to those people that tell you we're the best country in the world?
Well, I firmly believe to even just get anywhere close to being great or the best country in the world, we first must start with reparatory justice. We must fix and that what was broken. We must put people back to being whole, and we must have a commitment with enforcing the laws on the books and creating new laws to make sure things like massacres, redlining, discrimination, things of that nature does not happen. And when it does happen, it's a severe consequence. So I assure your assessment that when people say this is not who we are, we're the best country, they don't understand the history of this country. And it's disappointing when any politician says that. I will say here in Tulsa, you know, because of the work that we've done, we were able to elect our first African-American Mayor Monroe Nichols. He did come in and do some things. He did put together the Greenwood Trust, his road to repair, where he did, adopted many of the proposals from our project Greenwood. And we're very happy and proud of that. But there's still work to be done. As far as the Greenwood Trust, at this time, there is no pathway for individuals like Mother Fletcher and other individuals to receive payments directly for the harm and horror that they had suffered. And that's something we're going to continue to push. And while we are working with closely with the city, with Mayor Nichols' administration, we're going to continue to push for those because those things to happen. We do not feel good that Mother Fletcher left this world without receiving actual direct compensation and reparatory justice from the actual perpetrators of the massacre. So I thank you for your question, and I think until we can do right by the Mother Fletchers of the world, we will not be the best country, and we certainly will not be great.
All right, DeMar Solomon Simmons, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, brother.
Let me thank Mateo Omakongo for being on today's show. Gentlemen, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Folks, we were in Tulsa for the 100th anniversary. We sat down and talked with Mother Fletcher as well as her brother, Uncle Red. Here is that conversation.
This week from folks and photos and interviews and all kind of stuff. Are they running your racket?
Now, I have to start with, I'm a little hard of hearing on that side. But
I said folks have been sitting here taking pictures and a lot of energy having y'all in the parade and other events. Are they running your racket?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes. But I love the parade. The horse, we had a chance to ride in a horse and wagon. Yes, sir. That was really enjoyed that. And I'm sure he did too.
I enjoy this. This is exciting to me. This history.
So many people.
I'm just overwhelmed with this. I didn't think this would ever happen to me in my life. So my life has been good, but this is special. And I love attention. Love attention. Yes, I do. So I'm so overwhelmed with just, I can't get over it. I'm just so happy about this.
How does it make you also feel to see a younger generation, learning the history and really now wanting to understand what happened here 100 years ago?
I think it's wonderful, but I don't think enough history has been said about it throughout the years. Because I've met so many people that said they've never heard about it. So I think more history is what we'll have, to make everybody realize that it happened. I have a niece, she's 70 years old. She said she didn't know about it. Just right up there at Bartersville.
She's 70.
Yeah. So I hope more history, and every year have a little celebration like this, It would be not this big. Oh, this is too big, but you should always, recognize it.
No, I say have one every year, make it bigger.
Yeah, make it bigger. That's right.
Now I tell the young people, look up, don't turn back. I tell them, you are number one. So it's only one. We only live. All of us is the same. Races, creeds. We are Americans, and I want you to believe you are number one. So that's what I tell the young people. Yesterday at parade, I was glad to see mixed kids, black, white, green, all colors. So that brings us more close together. We are only one. That's all we got. My nephew out there, he said, Uncle Red, tell him what it's all about. You are number one. We are Americans, all of us. So I want to be treated like America. See, I want justice. That's what I'm looking for.
So many people got a chance to listen to y'all's testimony before Congress. And I must say, to listen to you speak, talking about remembering what happened, and painting a picture of that night, of the terror, was just so hard to listen to.
Yeah.
And folks don't understand the pain and agony that black folks have had to experience in this country.
I know that we still have some of that pain and action. Like, I don't sleep all night, and the darkness and any little sound, you know.
All these years later.
Oh, sure, every day. Why not? Every time of day that it happens, look like you think about it. It's something that'll never pass with me. No, sir.
Describe for folks what that community looked like and felt like, and what it was like. Just
the folks that I saw was falling, being shot and killed and bleeding, houses burning, and here smell smoke and seeing fire and heard airplanes raining, and just a rumor, you know. And it's wondering how you had to be gathered up and moved out of the community, my parents was told, to save our lives. So that's the part that I can remember hearing.
Where did y'all go afterwards?
I think to a little town called Claremore, Oklahoma. Yeah, from here. We lived someplace up there out on the north end of town, and you know, so I don't know the name of the highway or anything, but that's where we went and stayed, lived for. And that was the pleasure of me in the parade today, is having a chance to ride in drawn by a horse. I don't know what was the name of the wagon we rode in, but it was real nice. I thought that was really nice, you know, to represent because I think then most people was using horse and wagons, and because my family didn't own a car, and that was our way of transportation. Yeah.
How old were you when the massacre happened?
6 months old. Just only 6 months old. So I was born January 11, 21. That happened in June.
So where did your family, after the massacre happened, did your family stay here? Did they flee? Where did they go?
Well, we all were together. That's my sister there. We all went to
Got it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We went to Claremore, Oklahoma, just like my sister.
Now how far is that from here?
I have no idea.
Quite a while. It took quite a while to get there with a horse and wagon, you know.
So you go there. Now, how long did y'all live there? And did you return back?
Not to Tulsa then, no. Well, my parents were sharecroppers, and you know, you probably know about or heard about how we didn't plant the harvest, but we would help to do it, and that was his way of making a living for us. Now, as I've said, I never did see any money exchange, but the way of living, of housing and food is what to receive for that kind of service.
Was it hard for you growing up in Greenwood, having that experience, and seeing it destroyed and never been able to come back?
Well, later in years I did, but not until I was a teenager. So being with the family, and then, as I said, when we left there, that type of work, we didn't have a chance to attend school, the full school term, because if it was summer, you had to plant the crop, or in the winter, you had to harvest the crop. So we wasn't able to go to school. So by all of my family, we got a very little schooling. And that is the part of life that I miss so much, too. Yeah.
Now, you go into the U.S. Armed Services, and this is the thing that we always talk about. Black folks loved America more than America loved black folks.
That's right.
And so to fight for a nation knowing full well what it did to your family and your community.
It was a segregated army. It was a black army and a white army. Well, it was. We had 2 black officer, a first lieutenant, a second lieutenant, the rest of the chaplain was white, the colonel was white, the major was white. And that's what the way it was. And so later on up in the years, you know, they started mixing what we had. And it was just like you living at home. You were separated from the other army.
But you still served.
We still served, though. We still served.
Well, may I say, you know, I had 2 brothers, 2 sons, and 2 grandsons in service. So what he's saying, you know, I've heard that 3 different generations of times, and they've served on different terms. And each one of the 3 was with the Army or the Navy, and I've learned from their testimony that it's a life that, well, you just don't. You don't have your idea. You have to do what you're compelled to do. And it was pretty rough on them, really.
And sold to Carvana. Ooh, that was too convenient.
It's a great offer. What's wrong, John?
I set aside a week to sell my car, Clarence. I haven't had free time since 2000.
Folks, so we're going to pick the interview up. Go back to it.
Reinvigorated emphasis on Greenwood. You have folks talking about emphasizing Black Wall Street in businesses. It's 100 years later. Think in the future, what do you hope 100 years from now Greenwood and Tulsa will be like for African Americans? What do you hope it will be?
I hope it's being able to get back to normal like it was before. But it's going to be some help because of everything that our race owned then, they should be reimbursed for it before Greenwood can get back like it was. But now, maybe it might be different, but that's my thought about it.
What do you hope for 100 years from now Greenwood will look like?
I would think, I hope it will get back like it was. Like people own their own business, their own jewelry stores, their own banks, funeral homes, police stations, tailor shops. They work hard to get that. They wanted the people in Oklahoma didn't lend them the money. They had to go to different states to get that money to build that business. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that again.
Now, I got to ask you this. Now, I've met him before coming here. How you let this man go on the Tom Joyner cruise every year dancing with all those young women? I got video of him on the dance floor late at night having a good time.
I think I was president at that time. I've been with them.
To do that, you got to plan. You don't have to have a lot of money. You plan it for years, then you decide what you want to do. You save a few dollars every month, and when time to come to go, you can go.
Yeah, well, I went with him, and I think I was with him during that time when he was dancing. But they invited me.
99.
Yeah.
She was 99 years old when she went on.
Yeah.
Well, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning when I ran to him at the party.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He was out late.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. You see, when I went, I had to be pushed in a wheelchair.
Right. Tom Johnny and his son would take care of me. They said, where's Dad? Said, we got him. So I didn't worry. I had people that looked after me on the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was taking tequila shots.
Oh.
Oh, he was on that dance floor just getting it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I love life.
Huh?
I love life. I love people.
But he said tequila shots. I had to think twice what the kind of shot that would be. Now, what kind of shots are they getting? What's this little herb that's growing?
They taking all kind of shots now.
I mean, but it's a. What are they?
That's a Mexican shot.
Yeah, that's my trouble. I can't think sometimes of the next word I want to say.
It's all good. It's all good. So you absolutely love life and you live it. I tell people all the time, my hashtag is live life, love it. You got one. You don't sit there going through life being sad.
Yeah. And I think being active like that, you know, because he had a large family and everything, and he and the family was always together. I think you dance more with your little granddaughter than, you know, and so that makes a difference, you know. That
dance, just love it. It's part of my life.
Yeah.
Well, my philosophy is if my legs still work, let's go.
Well, sure, I know. I wish mine did, but this knee don't go very fast for me. So.
Well, that's why I said, people ask me all the time, they say, man, you always dancing and stuff. I said, look, there's ever day I can't dance, there's going to be some video of me getting down. So I can always say, just play the video, or you'll see the evidence.
Oh, no, when they give it a little tune, I can move up the upper part.
You got the shoulder dance?
What's going on now, it's taking a plague away from the people. It's not going to be like it used to be. See, you like when you work 8 hours a day, you want to come home and like to have a nice dinner weekend. You like to go somewhere. You like football, you like to go to football, or baseball, or basketball. You can't do that no more.
Well, hopefully, if folks take their COVID shots, we'll be able to get back to normal as fast as possible. That's what I'm hoping. Well, we have enjoyed being here. Greenwood is sacred ground. More than 300 folks lost their lives. But our mission is to keep speaking truth and keep the story going and not relying on somebody else to tell our story. And we're going to make sure that folks always are aware of your story, what happened here.
I appreciate you digging me up and pulling me in on this.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, like I say, I'm always running to him late at night on the dance floor. So see, I didn't see you late at night on the dance floor, but I got video with him.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of the weekend. You're getting Hollywood attention with all the photos and all the love they've been showering on y'all.
We will, Vic. We will. I'm sure we will.
Experience, and it's something just special, you know, to be honored, to be telling a story about history. That's what I like.
And I bet you didn't mind that $100,000 check presentation up there, huh?
Man, oh my goodness, no.
I didn't think this would ever happen to me.
I've never seen that much money.
Huh?
I have these.
Say it again?
I've never seen that much money.
There you go.
We never had no money.
Get this back on you. There you go.
I used to work 10 hours, I get 10 cents an hour. 10 hours, $1.
Yeah, you know me, I've done the same. So, but this was an honor. I appreciate you folks, including us. We've all enjoyed it.
Up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you quit at 5.
My grandson, crazy. My grandson, Ike.
He's Ike's right there, so he's about to come get you.
Yeah, well, that's all right. If it wasn't for him, now I couldn't be here, you know.
Well, we're glad Ike hooked you up.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm depending on now. My children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Well, that's what their job.
They'll help me.
You took care of them. Their job is to take care of you.
Whatever that check is, well, we'll all enjoy that. Hopefully have, like I tell them, well, I won't be here much longer to help you all do it, but we're going to have fun.
But you're going to enjoy it while you can enjoy it.
Well, sure. I mean, there's so many things we need, you know, so just getting things that you need makes you feel better and be able to live longer and be satisfied. And
folks, back to our Roll Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
October 2023, Uncle Red became an ancestor at 102 years old. And today, his sister, Mother Fletcher, became an ancestor at the age of 111. They're now joined together in heaven. Folks, that is it for us. We appreciate you joining us right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network as we remember one of the 2 surviving members of the Tulsa Race Massacre. And now there's just 1. So we certainly thoughts and prayers go out to Mother Fletcher's family. Folks, that's it for us. If you want to see news like this that you're not going to see anywhere else, that's why you must support Roland Martin Unfiltered and the Black Star Network, the shows that we have here. We're telling stories that no one else is telling. And not only that, we're not just doing a headline. We're not just sitting here giving you time. Ain't nobody else out there is going to show you a 19-minute interview with Mother Fletcher and her brother. No, it's going to be a passing thing. And so that's not how we do it right here. We always pay proper tribute to our ancestors. And so that's why supporting this show is critically important. If you want to contribute to join our Bring the Funk fan club and give via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here, bottom left-hand corner. That's also for credit cards. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Checks and money order, make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Be sure to get a copy of my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America is Making White Folks Lose Their Minds. Get the book, bookstores, online. Also, you can get the version that I read on Audible. If you want to support the work that we do, get our Black Star Network Roland Martin Unfiltered swag. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com for t-shirts, hoodies, wall art, mugs, and more. Shopblackstarnetwork.com. Also, all these black-owned products to my left, you can also get that right there on the website as well. So support these companies by going to shopblackstarnetwork.com. And don't forget, download the social media app Fanbase, black-owned. And if you want to be one of the investors, you can go to startengine.com/fanbase. 13.8 million has been raised. What's left? 3.2 million. So the investment ends December 18th. Startengine.com/fanbase. Folks, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow right here, Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Holla!